A circle of 12, I know, very soon in our future.
Yes, and I think I love how Kryon almost prepares us for these Circle of 12 experiences from the channel. So if you are watching the replay and you're just coming straight to the Circle of 12 meditation part, I do encourage you, go back and listen to the Kryon channel first, because that's kind of like a primer for what we're about to do.
And another just mention that all of the channels, even the Circle of 12 for members, end up in the public venue, and that is kryon.com/free audio. That's the channels, not the Circle of 12 meditation. So all four for this month eventually will be together on one page, and you can listen to them back to back if you like.
But being a member, you have so much more.
Well, the members
you get it in your portal.
The members get it as it's done, and they also get it first. And the ones that are free are about a month later or so. Yeah.
But the Kryon.com free audio is a good resource to revisit other channels. Yeah. Such as the one I mentioned earlier.
Like you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, Mount Shasta, 2013.
That's right. To get the 12 attributes of the human soul.
9.
Yep. Oh, there's 9 attributes.
12, but 9 attributes of the soul.
9 attributes of the soul. I always wondered too, and I asked Kryon, he might have mentioned it, why there were only 9 when the operative number is 12, and the answer was that it meant it was complete. And so, again, we're having the numbers of things don't mean actually physical numbers of things as much as they mean the attribute of the numerology,
the energy
of.
Yeah. Well, I guess what's interesting with the 9, it's 3 groups of 3.
3 groups of 3, and
so that's
3s are
three,
catalysts.
3.
Yeah. There's a lot to teach there.
There is. All right. Well, we should move now into the Circle of 12.
I'm ready.
And many of you, my goodness, it's a year since we began doing the monthly Circle of 12 meetings. And some of you have had over 50 times where you've entered the Circle of 12. For some of you, this may be your very first experience. Wherever you are in that spectrum, I invite you to just release all expectations and relax your body into this now moment. And some of you will get some visuals. Some of you won't see anything, but you'll get feelings. And just allow whatever it is for you to unfold for you. No judgment, just observe what it is you experience. Come with that freshness as though this is the first time you are moving into that space that has no time and space. And allow yourself to relax a little more deeply. Soften your breathing. Feel the loving support from the energy of the earth. Feel the loving support from your entourage, your guides and angels, your higher self. And in this state of deep relaxation, open your heart, give permission, and allow the experience to unfold for you. And dear Kryon, we are ready indeed to enter the Circle of 12.
Greetings, dear ones. I am Kryon. Come a little closer. I would love to give you information that you'd never heard. And so I will. And it has to do with that which we have covered all month, the human soul, the soul of the human. If I were to tell you that your biology actually is built to see, understand, and receive things from that which is your soul, would that shock or surprise you? Research is hard to do. on multidimensional things. Because all of that which you have that is microscopic, right down to seeing almost things at the atomic structure, does not show you anything more than 3 or 4D. How many angels can you put on the head of a pin? That's a metaphor, dear ones. But that question shows where I'm going. Truly, if you could see, understand the plan of the marriage of multidimensionality to that which is your own biology, I think it would change everything. Everything. If you could see how things were built within you, within your brain and your consciousness, even the chemistry, the shape, perhaps even of the molecules, there are receptors, you might say. Let's look at these things that are not things you'll see in the microscope as much as you will see them in a plan that is microscopic at a multidimensional level and a 4D level. That will occur someday. You'll be able to see things in what we will call a quantum scope. The use of quantum as a word means multidimensional when we use it. Imagine looking at something microscopically that shows it all, not just the 4D parts, but all of the parts. And the first time this is ever seen by a human being in this special kind of scope will elicit wonderful remarks like, I don't believe it. When you can see how things fit. What are you talking about, Kryon? What if I told you there are receptors for love? Receptors, not just endorphins, chemistry, not reactions. Receptors for love. Some of you know what I'm talking about because you can walk into a room and you can feel the energy if there had been, for instance, a fight. That's not a receptor for love, but that is a kind of a receptor, is it not? That you can then feel the energy in a room, and where is that coming from? Is that coming through your skin, your brain, your consciousness? It's a multidimensional feeling that you know is there. Or if you walk into a place where there's been something beautiful, wonderful happen, there's been a marriage, there's been unions, there's all of those things, and you can feel that love of those wonderful people who are in love with all that is there and are having a joyful time. And you feel that. You tell me how. Oh, wait. You see, it's not chemical. It really isn't. There will be those who say, well, those pheromones and those other things, they go out and they do this or whatever. I'm talking about a field. I'm talking about you feeling this from a distance as well. Somebody calls you. Somebody very, very special calls you on the phone and starts talking about how much they miss you or how much they love you, or start remembering some of the times you've had together, and then you start feeling this, do you not? Is this a thing that swells up from your own brain, from your own chemistry, or is there more? Is there more that you can feel at a distance between two people in love, for instance? Or a mother and a daughter, for instance. There are receptors in your brain, in your heart, in your elbow, because it's in the DNA, dear ones, that can feel and are designed for love. Now, not just love, for divinity. What is it that gives you the chills? What is it that gives you that which is a peaceful feeling? We created the circle of 12 for you to go to this place where those receptors are wide open, a place that is curative, because this is the place where you feel one with the cosmos to a degree where you don't fear death, Or you don't fear anything because you realize you're just part of the system and that all things are fitting together in a beautiful way. You drop anger there. You have an epiphany there, if you choose to, and the receptors are open, and in comes the divinity of who you are, and the universal truths, the large things that you didn't know or were never told, that will soothe you and put you in a place that you deserve to be, where you can simply go, oh my, I never knew I was that big, or part of something so amazingly large. And that's when the fear of life drops away, so you don't go back angry. And the more time you spend there, dear ones, the more life will not bother you, and the less angry you will be with anyone for any reason. There are so many who go places, including their own family, and it bothers them just to be in the same room. Habits bother them, and talk bothers them, attitudes bother them, and pretty soon they're a wreck. And that's when they start taking meds and they go to the doctors that are trying to help them and all that, and sincerely trying to help them. It all goes away with self-realization of who you are, of your place in the cosmos, but more than that, the love that is there for you from that creative source which is part of you and always has been. There is the connection. When the one fits into the other and you see that multidimensional force, if you want to call it, that is the soup of love that takes you into its arms and the parts snap together. And you go, oh yeah, now I understand. And you come back from that place healed, peaceful, without the anger. And you realize this has made a difference. Something has happened while I was there. And it's not just a meditation. Welcome, old soul, if that has happened to you. And if it has not, I just explained what's there for you. This is real. There is more to you than chemistry, a lot more. And science is beginning to see it, feel it, measure it, know it. Consciousness is energy, it's physics. Consciousness is a lot more than you thought it was. And that which is your DNA and your chemistry, as much as you know about it, it's only a piece of what is actually there when you take a look at the other dimensions that it broaches and that it's part of. That's a truth. We talked about the higher self. It's part of that which is your soul, but more than that, it's part of a group. Because the higher self of every single human being is also involved in the 3 and 4D part, and is also part of the pineal, the chemistry, the receptors, all of that. Because of that, if you're in a room with a lot of individuals who also are aware of the higher self and believe it, you have a spiritual group where the receptors for love are active, and you start to feel it, and you start to understand it. And that's when you start to think to yourself, this group and myself can do things for the planet. This group, we can help each other in the healing department because we are so powerful. Because we know and feel the receptors. We know there's more to this than just the chemistry. Oh, the science is coming, and when it does, there's going to be those who have a hard time with this because they've always been taught that science and spirituality do not mix. And yet, if they believe in God, they have to understand that God created the science. So that's a conundrum, isn't it? The master physicist is the creator of the planet. The master biologist is the creator of the planet. So don't create a school that just studies the creation and says the creator didn't do it. Unless, of course, you're dysfunctional. I'll say no more. I would love you to cross the bridge with me right now to that area where we always go, where we can experience this together and open the receptors. There's a bridge before you if you choose to see it. Going from that which is 3D and 4D to that which is multi-D. It's not going to the fifth dimension, dear ones. It's going to multi-dimensionality. There's more than 5. You don't go from 3 and 4 to 5. You go from 3 to 4 to everything when you move across this bridge to the soul. You may study 5 when you're here on this side of the bridge, but when you cross it, there is no such thing. It's just all there. Take my hand. Let's go right now. All of you who choose to. You move across that bridge and the mist is there and you walk right through it. That mist obfuscates what's on the other side just so it won't startle you, because what's on the other side, where you stand perhaps now, is not understandable any more than an odd dream would be, where everything is in the wrong place, where the physics don't make sense, where you can fly and float and be and do and be all ages. That's a multidimensionality of your consciousness. I want you to stay here for a moment and look around. In your mind's eye, what would you see if you could step into an unlimited you? I'm not talking about an action figure. I'm talking about that which is forever and has been here since time began and before. That's the you I'm talking about. And for a little while, you're human. That's the you I'm talking about. One that sees all it is instantly, where you start to feel there's something bigger here than I was ever told. And it's me. I'm part of it. Did you know that? You're not observing an event. You're observing you. Come with me to this theater that we always go to, or generally go to. And we're going yet again, because we are going to this theater. You guessed it. We're going to go into that theater of the round, where you go into a place on stage which is sunken, and you have to go down into the audience and climb up onto the stage. And it's in the round for a metaphorical reason, because there's no beginning or end to this. There's no good seat or bad seat. They're all looking at you. You're in the middle. Let's make it turn if you'd like to, because everyone gets a good view. But that everyone is going to be the higher selves of all the souls on this planet. How does that make you feel? How big is the audience today? Old souls have active higher selves, and they're sitting in the front rows of this massive arena, you might say. And yet it isn't a massive arena. Actually, it's quite small today. And you might say, that does not make sense, Kryon. You cannot have that many souls in a small area. Oh, yes, you can. You can put all of them in a jar if you wish. Now, the jar will not then keep them from moving around. It's just an idea of multidimensionality. You can make this as big as you wish, an arena as big as a city, if you wish, or as personal as 3 or 4 chairs in front of you. Here's the point. Your higher self is a group, and it is involved with the consciousness of humanity. And that humanity is starting to awaken and grow. It is also starting to be aware and have difficulties and problems and fears of what is happening on the planet now that never did before. And that's where you come in. This meeting with your higher self and the others are old soul meeting. So I want you to take a moment and do 2 things. Number 1, open your receptors that are designed in your chemistry for love. Right now, take a moment, open that receptor as you sit in the chair on the stage. There is no death, dear ones. There's simply a transition. You're coming back or not as you choose. You're part of something much, much larger. I want you to feel the peace that is yours It goes past any understanding of why you should even have it. I want you to understand that all of the angers and frustrations on the other side of the bridge are things that you have created for yourself and can be dropped instantly. That extended life can be yours because of it. All of that. Now that's just number one. And when you get to that place when you're feeling one with all that is around you, I want you to take that tool that you have just created and meld with the higher selves of all of those in the audience and the old souls and the higher selves that are there right now. I want you to envision an earth that is different from today and place it into the future of this planet in a way that makes you smile when you see how things can be resolved that you were told could not be. Where the horrors of war will no longer be here. There is a template for this on other planets in your galaxy that have done exactly this. This is one of the biggest tools you have. The old soul meeting, the gathering you could have every day if you wished before you went to sleep. Because when you're in this place, you have the mind of God, not the mind of humans from other countries. You are together in one goal: kindness, compassion, honesty, transparency, care for one another. That is possible. No matter what you see on your news, a designed fear program, dear ones. What you are doing now is sending out the energy of the future of Earth. Foolish? I'll leave that to you. Because when you return someday, you will be the benefactor of it. Shamans, all of you, in this department today, I want you to stay and understand and feel this. Old souls of the planet, unite for a peaceful time that you can create. Stay. Stay. And so it is.